You know, I don't wake up and say, this is going to be the topic today. No, no. I wake up, I make my coffee just like anybody else. My cats, normal stuff. I sit down in silence. This morning, I'm sitting down in the snow. And then I usually look like this, and it comes to me, right? And so that song by Clergy, So It Begins, actually a song that I had on my playlist on another resonance build that I did, yes? But that song popped into my head, so that means that the song is relevant to the topics today. So I say, okay, let me look it up, let me share it so that everybody could follow along, right? And then I see it's tied to, of course, some Hollywood shit, right? Hollywood is taking the energy just like they are, harvesting it, directing that signal to the signal they want you to see, or giving you the options of what to resonate with on a screen. Yes. Very far removed from the real thing, the natural thing, yes. So, don't get me wrong. Everything that is used for the wrong reasons, bad reasons, can be used for the good and right, yes. You can find the benefit in it, yes. So, one thing I want everyone to notice is that the trees and stuff, this stuff is melting cars, it's melting metal, glass, all this other stuff. Looks like a nuclear bomb went off, but the nature is untouched. The natural world is, right? And I put a speed square there, right? Bad angles, ANGLES. Switch those letters around. ANGELS, angles. You say, what's that got to do with anything? And I say, go back and look at I think it's under the Ark of the Covenant. I have it titled Ark of the Covenant or something like that, right? And when you see me come up into, when they were like, you're part of that group or blah, 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 come up out of this, it looks like a doorway, weird angles, yes, and put something on the wall, yeah. And a very dark figure with very dark wings and claw feet, yes. If you haven't seen it or you're new to my channel, you should really go look at that. Watch that, especially with the topics that I am speaking about today, yes. You see, they rely on you never figuring shit out, right? And they're never going to fucking tell you. No. But you can figure it out on your own, right? Or if you have somebody who genuinely has nothing to gain, is not part of anyone's shit, and just wants to help people understand, right? Like, I know the reasons why I do what I do, right? I have seen some crazy shit. I have experienced some crazy shit, right? And here we are. But it's so complex, right? Like, it's the most complex math. It is. Right? And they operate on what they've developed. So naturally, that's going to exist, yes. Or try to exist. And then there's a different one. That different one is the one I operate on. I remember hearing the whispering, she's bad at math. Whose math? Your math? Clearly. Clearly, because y'all's math don't make sense to me. Right? I've done the math, right? I mean, their math makes sense in the way that it keeps you trapped in a circle, yeah, of non-production, non-gain. Yeah, that's what their math does. Yeah, that's what their math does. It keeps you slave. That's what their math does. Doesn't it, though? This makes me think of that Tiki Tacky song, yeah. All the boxes on the hillside, all the boxes are the same. I don't know the words. Tiki Tacky, and they're all just the same. Yeah. Anywho, it is snowing here. I love it. And do you know, I am pretty sure that it was a Mason trying to mess up my order last night. He has a habit of that. I mean, like a literal Mason, yes. You know, it's not so much the individuals, it is just the energy of the whole, is what it is, right? Because as an individual, well, he has pissed me off before. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel compassion. Right? Especially whenever I watched him struggle to do a job that he just couldn't do. Right? So I had to remind him. Sometimes people have limitations. Right? We have to be willing to admit when we have limitations. And if you have to force anything, then it's probably not natural. It's probably not meant for you. You know? Facts. Listen to how peaceful it is out here. Do you know? Do you know that there are there is a sect of people? Right. I wanted to do this that create these dome-like houses. Yes, they're called earth bag homes. So you fill these bags full of clay, and like another something, clay and hay, I think, or no, straw. No, clay and something, right? I don't want to tell you wrong. So if you're interested, go look up earth bag homes. These homes are built in a round way, and they're completely natural. They are fireproof, earthquake proof, wind proof. They're everything. But that doesn't serve their system, does it? They like their squares with the trees that deplete the oxygen, right? Like they like their squares with their paper that depletes the oxygen. Yeah, you should be living in homes made of the earth. There's plenty of dirt, right? And then your shit wouldn't burn down. But that's a free material, yeah. Can't have all that. No, they need rules and regulations and restrictions and permits, and you need permission from them to build anything. When are people going to wake up? When are people going to wake up? When? It's all a scam, right? Just like it's mandatory that you pay insurance, which you have to fight them to get the money back. Why? Because it all goes into their pot for their investments to do whatever they've spent the money. And, I know I heard a big kerfuffle about the lady directing money towards homelessness. Well, isn't that just perfect? Well, isn't that just perfect? Yeah, because there's a lot of people that are homeless now. People need to learn to look at things on the bright side, right? And my understanding is that she was a fire chief for many, many, many years. Yeah, like 22 years or something like that. But yeah, this their math is leaves little to be desired in terms of your creator. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. It's not rocket science. It's just they need something to do and they need their slaves to do it. Yeah. They need purpose and they need their slaves to do it for them. I saw someone make a comment about people who wouldn't be able to rebuild or whatever. And they were like, well, they should have got better jobs. Better jobs? Sir, if all the poor people today quit their crappy jobs, right? You could sit down at your dinner table, pull out a couple of $100 bills, put it on a plate, eat it, and tell me how you feel in a week. Or better yet, when your mansion burns down, why don't you go make you a house out of those $100 bills? Or that paperwork, right? Or that lip service. Go see how that helps your survival. Yeah. You see, it's the poor people that feed you, right? They're the fishermen's. You all are just taking the fish. The poor people are giving you the fish, yeah? Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Or feed him for as long as the fisherman wants to keep giving him the fish, yeah? Yeah. Something like that. The mentality is just so wrong. And imagine a whole bunch of people just fucking talking and doing what these people do, right? Well, you people just would cease to exist because the poor people wouldn't be doing all the necessary shit that's necessary to your existence, right? I always bring up the bread, right? Let's talk about the bread. Do you know how long it takes to bake a loaf of bread? A French loaf can take up to 8 hours, and so can hamburger buns, of careful tending, proofing, mixing, rising, right? If you do it that way, you know. But, you know, you people who think that you're so important can go walk into a store where all those poor people are working and barely surviving, yeah, and go pick up as many as you want with no discretion to the value or the time or the care that it took to go into that loaf of bread. And as long as the poor people keep doing it for you, you'll never know the value of anything. That's the reality. And they think poor people are disposable. See, one time a company thought that about me, so I left. And guess what happened? Business shut down. Right? Just because people can make shit look easy doesn't mean that anybody can do it. That just anybody can do it. A hard but valuable lesson, yeah. Right? And I promise the person doing something from the heart, no one is above them. I promise that. No one can reach their standard of care, attention, time. All right. And those people that you just clock in, like, that's just a job to them. Yeah. Breaking up families is just a job to them. Yeah. Like a lawyer. A lawyer will charge you, this is their math. A lawyer will charge $350 an hour to represent you in family court because you and your partner do not, you have the emotional EQ of toddlers, right? But they benefit from the chaos and the upheaval, yeah, and the fighting and the arguing and the need to be right. So they'll charge you $350, put themselves in the middle of your business. Then, with each other, they'll just wait whenever they're supposed to respond to something, yeah. So your lawyer has to clock in at $350 an hour, and he's charging $90 for the paralegal, but paying her $15 to type up the motion to compel them to cough up what they're supposed to, what you already told them the first time, yeah. And so, if these two are remember they're buddies, they could just do this all day long and milk the fuck out of you, drain you dry. Ask Grimes, she knows. And I ask again, what do you need all that money for? What kind of people are coming to you? I just use the rich people example, but it's usually poor people, right? What do you need all that money for? And where do you think they're getting it? Huh? So they put it on credit cards, so they create themselves a debt? Two kinds of debt, really. But I guess you got to get your soul's worth, don't you? And material, because you're definitely not racking up the numbers on the right side of shit. That's for sure. See, so yeah, I don't really care for their math, their angels, yeah. Call me old fashioned. Anywho, hope everyone is enjoying the weather where they are. Like Mr. Rogers said, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.